if you've still got some leaves on your path or in your garden that are all dried up like this, chances are you're just lazy. And that's exactly what I've been this year. So I've got plenty of this. But luckily for you and me, I'm also really cheap. And these are going to save me a lot of money. Oh crap, I forgot about that. Oh well. Making your own planters is great and rewarding and fun, but also it's really bloody expensive. Filling this with compost is going to cost a small fortune. So what I'm going to do is save about 1/3 of my compost by using two things: cardboard and old rotten leaves. You can even use twigs as well, and let me explain. The cardboard, first of all, will act as a natural weed membrane underneath. It will slowly rot away, and as a result, the roots will grow through, but nothing will grow out the top, which makes my life a lot easier. And then what I'm going to do is take all of my old shredded leaves and line the bottom of this with it, up to about 1/3 high. It'll naturally break down over the course of the next few months and slowly release all of the nutrients into the compost, feeding any of the plants on top of here and saving me a fortune. Now I've just got to do it. Now, the best kind of cardboard you can use to line this is just straight up normal cardboard without any kind of glossy print on it. Effectively, you want this to rot away naturally without any kind of plastic or extra in. So if you've got 1,000 Amazon parcels, because let's face it, you probably shop as much as I do, they're fantastic because they will break away and they've got paper tape. Makes life easier. But if you've got something really glossy with a beautiful print on it, get that in the bin. There's no point having it in the ground. Break your boxes down as flat as possible, and as a result, that will give a nice even layer on the bottom. You can either take pieces apart or rip it apart and fold it in place. And once it's all sorted, stamp in place and you're all good to go. Okay, cardboard layer in. Now we need to chuck some old leaves in this. Luckily for me, I have an abundance of fallen leaves that are absolutely jam-packed full of nutrients, so they'll be absolutely ideal. The only thing that wasn't ideal was the rake. You've got to be kidding me. This is why Homebase closed down. Needing to get the job done, I improvised with my new child-sized rake. Raking complete, it was time to move on to phase 2. Okay, I guess I just... Which wasn't going as well as I'd expected. Oh, crap. In an effort to restore my dignity, I decided to resort to plan B. Ha-ha! Don't know why I didn't think of this earlier. This is much more efficient. 2 lessons to learn here. 1, use a wheelbarrow. And 2, I'm a genius. Don't do this on a windy day. No! I hate this! Seeing as neither of those methods work, I decided to completely ignore it, move all the leaves to one side and act like I'd completely filled it. As you can see, I've managed to fill 1/3 of my planter right up with nothing but free material. So it just goes to show that actually you can save quite a bit of money with stuff that's just laying on the ground. Not bad, eh? Right. Teaching moment over, and deciding not to brace the wind again, I walk off and search for the next thing to do. Now, 9 episodes later, I'm finally going back to Liz and Nigel to talk about the design for their garden. If you remember from episode 1, it's all about their daughter's wedding. They want a big open plan space all designed, ready for the day of the wedding party. That was originally 5 months away. It's now 3 months away. I've got a lot of catching up to do. I really hope they don't realise how long it's been since I was last here. Guys, again, honestly, it's fantastic.
Yeah, it's only been 10 weeks, eh?
Yeah! Sorry about that. I'm screwed.
I believe you have a design ready for us.
I have got a design sorted for you. The good thing about it is it's so intricate and intense for this garden. I thought what I'll do is I'll walk you through the whole thing bit by bit so that you guys can visualize it as opposed to an actual drawing.
Brilliant. Yeah, great.
Okay.
If you probably haven't sussed it, I haven't come up with the design yet, so what you're about to witness is me absolutely blagging it. Let me lead the way. So let's start with over here. So the grand vision that I have is that we've got this garage space here that I think would work really well as an entertainment space. As you can see, we've got a nice, good, hard floor here, so we might as well actually add some tiling in place, put a nice pergola over the top here and some sort of a kitchen here or pizza oven along there. Just add some form of planters around just to give it a bit more of a natural screening around. What do you guys think?
Yeah.
Yeah? Yeah.
Holy crap, I might get away with this. Okay, it sounds like you've got it, but forget about this fantastic entertainment space that I've always been thinking of. Let's move on, your main lawn. And I think we should extend this lawn all the way through till the end. And I think it will just give that continuous flow, which will work really, really well, meaning that it doesn't feel like there's a fence in between, which if anything makes the garden bigger. What do you reckon to that? I'm losing them. Pretty convinced about the lawn, I'm happy about that. So let's move on to something a little bit different. This space here, I think we should create a really nice tall structure, maybe some kind of a gazebo, and then we should have some kind of amazing natural cottage feel garden along here with grasses and perennials too. Water feature, a natural pond there too, all introduced around connecting the space. And that just completely connects the whole thing together. What do you think? Well, that's the end of me. That's the end of garden design. That's the end of me ever trying to do this for a job.
We love it.
Well, I wasn't expecting that. Okay, let's mark this out. With my apparent design now in full force, I start to mark out all the areas to give them a visual idea. And, well, give me a visual idea too. The whole garden design off the top of my head. Not bad going. Two challenges here. First of all, I've got to get this design ready for Thursday because if they see this episode, they're probably going to murder me. So let's get the design sorted and then I'm off the hook. The second problem is I really wish I wrote everything I just said down. Ha. Now, this week I'm going to give you a quick crash course in garden design, and it's going to be fairly simple, but hopefully you'll be able to understand the basics of how to build your own garden just from this. So we're going to start off with what I've got here, which is pretty much the layout. So I've got all of my dimensions in place, all of the nooks and crannies, so I know where the lawn's going to go, the patio's going, and even where the big shed is as well. So that's there. We've got to move on to the next bit, which is starting to map out the groundworks and the structures. The best way in designing a garden is always start from the bottom and work your way up. So let's put some ground in, shall we? Now, it might not look like much right here, but actually what I've got is exactly where the patio area is going to go, where the new beds are going to go, and where our new canopy is. So we can see roughly the size of the area. Now, I know that Nigel's very keen for a good big lawn as well. So I'm going to keep that lawn looking as full as possible. And as a result, it should hopefully create that forever looking flow all the way till the field behind it. The next piece I'm working on is all of the framing. So all of the wooden components that will make the buildings, the pergola, and even the canopy over there. And they're really, really crucial to get done first. Now, you may look at this and think, okay, actually, this seems a little bit boring, but wait till you see what happens when you add color and plants. Add a smidge of color and texture, and all of a sudden you get something like this. Now, as you probably guessed, there's quite a few other things that still need to be added on. So like the water feature over here and the kitchen and the pizza oven, but that all comes with time. For now, we've got the bare bones. We can start getting the guys working on this and transforming Liz and Nigel's garden. I think they're gonna love it. If there's one thing I'm hoping we took from the leaves display earlier on, is that I need to be more sustainable and more budget conscious when gardening, and that's exactly what I'm going to talk about today. And I'm going to start off by making a simple feed. Now, I've gone back to the broken leaves again, and you can get yourself a fairly big tub, and you want to absolutely cram it in with these leaves. You can use grass cuttings and whatever you need. You want to soak it with water, cover it and leave it for a couple of weeks, and you can make your very own feed. Now, I'm quite lucky. I've gone full Blue Peter here, and I've decided to bring some out here. Wow. Oh my God, that smells. Okay, I'm fine. Just give me a second. Now, as I was saying, it's perfectly safe and absolutely fine, but all of the nutrients have broken down into the water and it's created a nice liquid feed. But because it is so concentrated full of nitrogen as well, it means that it needs to be watered down. So the best thing you could do is put it through a colander into a sprayer like this, or even a watering can, and apply it directly to the base of the plant in your garden. As a result, you created a free feed, which is pretty impressive, isn't it? You want me to pour it in there? Yeah, I don't think I'm going to do that. The next thing I'm going to show you that's budget friendly is to make your very own pots. Now, as you can see here, I need to pot up my sweet peas. They need to go something a little bit bigger, but soon they'll need to go directly in the ground or in a pot. So what you can do is you can get yourself some newspaper, some old printer paper, or if you're like me, an old dart charge notice, and simply fold it round the rim of a cup, leaving about 3 or 4 inches on the edge. Then you want to push all of that nonsense, stupid fine, just because I forgot to do it, into the cup, and then pull it out. You'll have a little hollow space there. You want to just push that in place. And as you can see, you've got your very own little pot. Once the bottom's sealed and pushed down, you can fold up the top like this to create a nice secure pot. And as you can see, I've already filled it with some good multi-purpose compost, and it's holding quite nicely. I can transfer my sweet peas into this and then keep it somewhere slightly warm and sheltered for 2 or 3 weeks to really get them to grow. And then the magic about this is I don't have to take it out of the pot ever again. In fact, I can stick this directly in the ground. It won't disturb the roots, which is the biggest problem for transplanting plants because it can be shocked. So there's no root disturbance whatsoever. And this, because it is paper, will slowly rot away into the ground. It's an organic material. It'd be absolutely fine. Now you know how to make your very own efficient and budget-friendly pot from a piece of paper that reminds me that I don't do any of my own admin. Stupid fine. Well, I don't know about you, but I think we've learned quite a bit. We've learned how to transplant plants, we've learned how to save money, and we've also learned how to reuse items that would be somewhat of a waste in our garden. We've also somehow learned to be able to blank a whole garden design and pray to God your clients don't murder you after they see this. So I'd say that's a pretty good day. Not sure why I give myself this false sense of security. We haven't even got to the end bit yet.
You must be pleased you got all your jobs up to date. That's good. I've got another client for you.
Look, I'm not doing this. I'm really busy and we've got too much going on. So whoever it is, I literally, actually no, I don't care who it is. You can just tell them to f off.
It's my dad.
Right. Well, I suppose we could fit him in.